Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another podcast. Adjusting for different women. Adjusting. Now, here's the issue. Let me be clear when I mean adjusting. It don't mean putting on a mask for different women or changing your basic personality. But it is understanding that you got to deal with different women in different ways. Because of once again, because of religion, social class, racial group, standing within that racial group, social class, economic standing, you can't deal with every woman the same way. And this is one honest criticism I have about the dating coach industry, dating coach PUA industry, or anything like that. It's treating women like they the same, and it's like no. And it's like often, and this is why I try to be open with what I say, because a lot of times people will say, okay, well, if you do this woman will respond. No, it'll be a certain type of woman respond, and it's not the same as like a woman who just you're her type. But because of the social class thing, you got to approach them different. Like I'm gonna use a great example. I'm gonna shout out the master teacher BGS, the master teacher BGS, and his octane model. To me, that's the greatest breakthrough for the average guy. He needs to write a book on that because of the octane model, and he has the diesel model. It acknowledges that you can't approach women the same way. Like, okay, you out there, you say, okay, you're gonna approach a bunch of women and stuff. All right, so say you get with that 85 octane. You see that woman, she fine, she got a fat butt, and they usually do. Those ratchet women, if nothing else, they know to ratchet up their sex appeal, right? So you approach her, you might try to be all smooth and shit. That don't really work for them. Because when you get those women on that level, and I don't care, and this I found this come across the races. It's better you just be straight up. Don't do no indirect shit. So you got to adjust for that. You got to be straight up what you want. You can walk up to them and say, hey, ma, you fine. Because they used to that. And you can do that. You can't be playing around like, oh, yeah, well, why don't we go to the art museum and all of that like you her buddy. You pretty much got to let her know what's up. You could pretty much tell her. Because one thing with them, they'll just look at you. They don't have any chill or any filter. If they feeling you, they will look. Because their thing is, they going to look and see what you're doing. They ain't going to play coy with you. Now, that's them. Now you deal with that 87. That 87 more the marriage-minded working class type of woman. You might not could come up to her player. She looking to settle more. She might think you cute, but to me, out of all the groups, they the most sensible. So, cause they looking to marry. So, and they ain't looking for money necessarily. So you gotta adjust there. You gotta kind of look solid for them. You gotta look solid. Now the 89s, they're interesting class. They're interesting class. Kind of like that. Like for those who remember my Insecure reviews, that's like that Issa. It's like, yeah, they might have some college or something, but that's that woman who graduate college but end up having to work retail. Now they're interesting people, but then on them, it's still a certain way you gotta approach them. And it's weird. I can't say it as a general way. Because, some of them might want to move up, and a lot of them tend to, even though some of them can be flaky, tend to want that high post dude, So they can be weird, but then you got to adjust for it, because it could be, when you have somebody who might have a certain level of education, but they ain't doing what they want, there's a certain personality that develops within them. So you gotta deal with it. You'll probably get more flakiness in that single group. And then, you deal with that 92 octane. Now that's the interesting crew right there. Cause those are women, they got the degree and they got that high post job. And very status orientated. Now they'll mess with a dude who maybe not on that level. But he got to be fine to him. That's that dude usually just for the D. And see, dealing with that, you approach that woman and you can't, play, tell her what school you went to, what profession you in, hand out a business card. Yeah, they'll mess with you only. They'll mess with you if they think you fine and they just want something. They probably won't take you out with them. Like if you're not on that level and they want to take you to, they want to go someplace where there's a bunch of other, as we were saying, the black community, bougie women. Yeah, they might be a little annoying. They might be like, hey, you can drive my car. You can drive my car. This is what you talk about. Like you go to that thing and they might talk for you. They ain't gonna let you in there because it's a show at that level. But if you don't look like you can be a part of that show, probably not. But then you have to adjust again. And then, the 100 octanes, if you probably ain't a superstar listening to me. So that's that superstar class right there. Superstar celebrity, like high post dudes. Right? And that's definitely a stat. They definitely looking at your status. And shoot, at that level, they ain't that concerned. I mean, if you want to get them and you ain't at that level, your ass pretty much got to be an alpha showpiece. You got to be an alpha showpiece. That just mean that dude who's just clicking, face, body, and everything. And even then, and that was just the octane model. You still got to adjust for different things. You might be dealing with a woman. Here's an example. And this one specifically from the black community. You might deal with that shea butter type of sister, but you ain't really on that. Nah, you go ahead to hit some revolutionary. You gonna have to hit her with like you pouring libations to the ancestors, had some uncle or something on you, something that quote unquote woke about you. And then, that's one angle, but then you might meet that woman, she hardcore Christian. Like I always mention my friend. I should catch her and see if she want to do a video with me. She hardcore Christian. And you get some of them, hey, if you ain't talking about your Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, so you got to adjust for that too. See, that's one thing, one of the reasons I'm saying all this adjustment, that's why like the best players are, I ain't gonna say they's chameleons, but they are complex. Some people say chameleons, but in order to really pull off being able to deal with a different group of women, you got to be able to have that complex personality where you can go up and down, you can do the levels and everything. It's like, yeah, you got enough street in you to holler at that like ratchet woman straight up, but then you got enough class in you to talk politics at a social gathering of 92 octanes. And it's just a complexity. And that's another thing too. You know what? I'm gonna do another video on that. How I know someone has really been with a lot of women. That's one key. That's one trick. Because you always got these dudes talking about, oh yeah, they've been with 100, 200. I was like, a few might have, but I'm gonna tell y'all another trick about that in my next video. So anyway, y'all, yeah. So you basically have to be able to adjust. Because understand one thing with the women, I'm gonna talk about this in my next video when I cover this. It's all in that complexity, It's all in being able to adjust for what they're bringing and be able to look authentic in doing that. Because otherwise, I mean, I ain't gonna say you can't get women, but then you stuck in a certain area. You stuck. Like you might only appeal to 87 octane, so you got to find that. So anyway, that's all I got for today. Check out my next video when I talk about the men who get the most women. So anyway, I'll talk to y'all. Peace and blessings.